It's a very unique and rare experience that not many people get to go and visit. The world is a large place, and there's so many different cultures. We have a unique opportunity in the 21st century to actually go and explore.
So my mom was actually pretty anxious. She didn't want me going. And then my dad was like, yeah, that's really cool, you should do it. Well, since I knew my dad supported me, I'm like, Dad, tell mom that I'm going on this trip.
I was like, oh, there's this really cool trip that I want to go on, and it's free. That was important. I didn't really tell them where they were going, or like, I made my mom help me with the application first, and I was like, it's actually to Saudi Arabia. And she was like, kind of shocked. She was like, I didn't know you could go there, but.
I got an email from the resident emailer at CSC. So I got one of those batch emails that people usually don't read, but I read it. And it said something about come accompany the Saudi students while they're here in America. And I was like, what? Saudi Arabia? How could I not? So I made them the promise. I promised them that I would go to Saudi Arabia if we ever got the chance.
When I studied abroad in Spain last spring, and I had never realized how much of a connection I could have with people from other countries, and that experience just really excited me. So to be able to go to a country that was even less familiar to me, as Saudi Arabia was, I thought that would be really cool.
One of the funniest and probably the most painful part of the trip was we went off-roading in the desert, which was extremely fun.
You've probably gotten this a lot, but definitely the desert trip. Yeah, just that entire day was just super amazing. And then we all got into a Jeep, and I thought we were just gonna take a leisurely stroll or sightseeing trip through the desert, but no, the man who was driving us, he turned his music all the way up, and we sped off into the desert, and it was just this most amazing time that I didn't really expect to do it, and so it just made it so much better.
So immediately within the first 30 seconds, I'm going full speed and I crash into some rock thing. And then the worst part is that not only do I fly off, but the ATV, the accelerator is locked. So the ATV keeps going. So I have to run after the ATV, and then it ends up going in a circle and hits someone else's car. So that was all happened in the first 5 minutes, and all of the students were dying because they couldn't believe it happened.
And then we sat in this tent, and we played games with shells, and it was really fun. And then one of the guys had an oud, which is the instrument that he plays, and then we did karaoke and stuff, and it was really fun. So that was just my favorite day to talk about.
I have a story, my favorite memory. All right, so we were in a boat over the Red Sea, and it was me and my colleagues, and then a bunch of people from the university, so King Abdulaziz University. And so we were in the boat, and someone said, "Oh, where's the music?" Right? So me and one of my good friends there, Muhammad, was like, "All right, let's do something." So we get together in the underside of the boat, and we spend maybe 15 minutes crafting the most delicate Arabic, French, English rap playlist you could ever imagine. It was precise. So everyone is vibing, we're enjoying the moment, and then all of a sudden the music cuts completely. At this point I'm and just as it cuts, it was about to get to the best part, in my opinion, of the piece. So I was like, why did it cut? Who cut it? So I went to Muhammad and I was like, oh, do you know what happened? And he was like, it's prayer time. So all the music has to stop. And then I said, oh yeah, of course. So that's one of my favorite memories, because it just shows you how tied into society religion is, Islam is in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, right?
To try not to create a judgment or a certain view of other people and places that you've never even been to before, because with places like Saudi Arabia, before the trip, what I knew about it was solely based off of what I saw in the news, and obviously that's going to be a lot more negative than what the people in that country are actually like. And so to try and be able to actually meet people from that country and even, you know, go there if you can, I think really helps to create like a more accurate description of that place and those people.
Getting to hang out with a lot of the Saudi students from the university, the King Abdulaziz University there. They were extremely welcoming and definitely guided us through their city and their culture in a way that was extremely educational, but also kind of low stakes, if that makes sense.
There's been a lot of changes happening in both of the US and Saudi Arabia, like very recently, in like culture and technology. And I don't know, something I thought was really awesome was, I think they're building like a smart city or something. And so I was like, I thought that was way off in the future or something, but I guess it's happening now, so.
The generosity that everyone on the trip displayed, all of our hosts, was super amazing. They gave us so much food, and it was just, and they were all very welcoming to us, and that's not really something I expected them to be welcoming, but it was just on a so much like greater level that I was so appreciative of, and so that was also something that surprised me a bit, but I was very grateful for that.
You know, just like the work ethic and, you know, the quest for finding better opportunity, I think it's pretty similar to both the people there and here, because there's a huge like entrepreneurship scene and tech scene that we were part of and we were experiencing, you know, firsthand, and that's very similar to what you would see here in the people trying to create, you know, new and ambitious ideas.